imagine I say, oh, we lost, we are 1-8, we suck. Imagine if someone comes and says, don't worry, things are gonna be better. And someone comes and says, you guys are so fucking bad, I hope Riot introduces special relegation for you guys so you get relegated. What do you think gets more likes or more karma? Reddit and Twitter, I don't really like open it anymore. Maybe I open it like once a week for like 20 seconds. And yeah, it's just a lot of negative influence that I don't really need, and it doesn't really like give me much. There's just like so many people that just want to farm karma. Like it gives them some like value, you know, when they're just like the random guy on the internet that is never gonna like meet any of the people that are commenting with them on like Reddit, and they just wanna have this elevated status above everyone else just because of their like controversial opinions, and they just like write the most like aggressive and controversial opinions just to get like Reddit points. It's just a toxic pit where there's just no point to be there. Why would I go on Twitter and just have people at me with like all the negative shit and like DM me with all the negative shit?
Yeah, I mean, usually you get these hate messages when you're not doing so well, right? I definitely know a lot of people who get really affected by it. So I think people should be a bit more careful with what they say online, you know. There's no real way to talk back, right? It's like online, so you just gotta take it.
People only remember the last game often. Even if you're a team that does really well, if you end with a loss, the hate train still comes after you. So I think that's kind of unfair, and I think people should really try and look at the bigger picture and try and look what's actually going on and just treat it as if it was someone you knew in real life that were losing or having a bad time of things. Like, you will be negative and criticize things, but at the same time, like, you approach the situation, I think, a bit differently.
I mean, there's no way to fix it, right? It's just anonym, and everyone can write whatever they want in front of their PC at home. They would never say that stuff to my face. So.
The one that kind of like bothered me the most and kind of made me really give up on like social media is like Rekful's example before he like committed suicide. Is just like everyone knew that this guy was like struggling a lot and he had like manic depression and all of this stuff. He was really on edge with like his mental stability, like everything could like push him over the edge. And when he did his tweet that he like proposed to his like ex-girlfriend or whatever the situation was, instead of people being like supportive or like nice or just like, you know, ignoring it, even if it was like out of place for him to like tweet that, instead of just ignoring it, people just bandwagoned and like ridiculed him and made fun of him, you know? I'm not saying that like that's what pushed him to do what he did, but it's just an aspect of like being constantly ridiculed every time you do something that's like kind of out of line. Just ignore the people that mess up.
I don't even think the positive things are that good. Like, let's say you're winning a lot and you read it a lot, then it gets to your head that everything is so nice, so positive. And then when you have a bad phase, you get even more depressed than the usual person. And yeah, the negative stuff obviously is bad anyway. But yeah, even the positive stuff, I think you should not read. I know that myself, like I know how to improve myself, how to get better, and what I'm doing wrong. And I don't need anyone on social media to tell me that. And yeah, it's also a lot of time consuming stuff, like being on social media. I could do a lot more useful stuff.
I personally don't read too much into it. I've been in the scene for so long, and I've seen so many things. I've seen some of the best players you've ever seen, people calling for their heads, you know. So to me, I think, because I'm a bit older, a bit more experienced in a player perspective, or somebody that is focusing on competing, I think the best is to just ignore and to not interact, which I think is a shame, because there's so much positivity too on social media, and there's so much other things that you can gain from interacting with others, that it sucks that a lot of the very negative stuff ends up being like kind of outweighing the good, I would say.
I mean, it would be nice to have more positivity in those places, but as long as there's like this shit karma system and Twitter likes, it's just really not gonna happen, because unless someone went through like a big personal drama, you know, when someone passed away or someone got like a really bad sickness or something like that, that's the only times where writing a nice message will actually get you like more likes or karma than like a negative message.
I just think if criticism is best when it comes with reasoning and actual thought behind it, and not just character attacks and hate and stuff like this. Like personally, when I see feedback and complaints and stuff that are specific and about things that are bad, like, oh, this guy's doing really badly in this matchup, or this draft was really bad, or things like this, I think that's way easier to look at and maybe learn from, or disregard it, you know, if it's wrong. But I think that's just the character attacks that don't really benefit anyone.